that the most recent milestone was in late February when we bonded it for $28 million. And along those lines, I just want to preface this by saying that one of the speakers tonight, one of my favorite lines, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. So we had a good story tonight. It was an entertaining story that we're amending a $98,000 contract with campus construction to $1 million, and that the board must think the town is a bunch of idiots. Can you basically give the facts behind that instead of the good story we heard?
I will try.
Okay.
Yeah, so both of these amendments are in our area. So we've all worked on it, worked really hard to keep the cost on this project down. This is actually a good example of that, despite the high dollar value. So what was amended in both these contracts with campus and our MRV is not just the dollar amount, it was the scope. So initially we had a scope of services that took us through bid time, and then we had to procure the scope of services from bid time to the end of construction. So what was amended was an additional scope of services to take us from bid to the end of construction, and that had a cost associated with it. So the entire contract was amended, scope and dollar, side by side. So dollar values were put in the budget that was developed for the bonding resolution originally. So these items were estimated at a certain amount. After working closely with MRV and campus together to make sure that the scopes didn't overlap or anything, these values represent running under budget on those items. So a certain amount was accounted for in the $28 million bonding resolution. These dollar amounts are actually less for the scope of services than was accounted for in the budget, to the tune of about $300,000 less than what was budgeted.
Just from a layman term explanation, and you did a great job, don't get me wrong. But the one thing that I've learned in the last 3.5 years, and I've had help from everybody here on getting educated on how this works, and actually Councilman Abbott is one of the biggest helps because he's been in engineering and municipal projects and all that, is that there's construction managers and there's engineering firms that are hired for the design phase. And that's what we did as a contract for campus construction, $98,000 for the design phase. Now, once we break ground and we're building the thing, the construction management part of the job becomes exponentially more involved, and we could have done a second contract with campus for that portion. We just amended the one and added the duties for construction management to go from $98,000 to $1 million. Now, I don't expect citizens, because I 3.5 years ago was a citizen, to understand that, but when somebody has been in government for 26 years and oversaw a bunch of this, they know darn well that that's how it works. So I'm not really appreciative of somebody getting up and telling a story to rabble-rouse when the facts are the exact opposite of that. And I'm going to end by saying that in the totality of this, the total of, we'll call these soft costs, engineering, construction management, this and that, pertaining to MRV and campus, what we estimated these to be when we bonded back in February, the actual contracts were negotiated, and I know, Bill, you were very instrumental on that, as Pat said, to be actually $300,000 in aggregate less. Those are facts, and those are the facts that the citizens of this town need to understand, not stories told at the podium that are meant to rabble-rouse and engage. So we can move on with now these resolutions.
Unresolved to increase the campus construction consultant services contract, allow the supervisor to sign the amendment in the amount of $1,048,000 for construction management services during construction phase of the highway facility project.
Second.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman DePelli?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Supervisor Cleary?
Aye.
And I would move to increase MRV's consultant services contract and allow the supervisor to sign an amendment in the amount of $706,680 for construction administration services during the construction phase of the highway facility project.
Second.
Councilwoman DePelli?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Aye.
Supervisor Cleary.
Aye. And before we move on, I just want to, I've been known to beat a horse dead, as my 7 kids say sometimes, but okay. I can't thank the team on the highway project, that is a team. Everybody here, Bill, Pat, all of them. They are already showing that what we bonded it for, we're starting to already get actual results that are coming in less. And that makes the accountant and me feel good. Because I think we all hear about these municipal projects that start out at X and then, whatever, they end up being 2X. I don't understand that. I don't understand, thank you, the big dig out in Boston. That should never happen. And I think we have a management and a leadership team that is really on top of this stuff. And I would much rather have us bond projects where we're being conservative and we can then, from the budget to actual, be able to report back to the citizens that we have done better than what we estimated. Because I think most people, rational people, like that better than getting BS from their leaders coming back later and say it's going to cost a lot more.